Okay. So, as many of you guys know that, the Databricks, I've already given introduction in the ADF course, but still at 5 minutes glance, I'm going to give you why we have to learn this PySpark and why we have to learn this Databricks and all. Okay, so and why we have to go with only Python and all. Okay. Um, so we have already learned like Snowflake, right? Again, Siva, why are you like teaching again these Databricks concepts, the course? So can't we survive in the market without this one, without Databricks? Yes, you can survive, but I can say that Databricks is a competitor for Snowflake in all the aspects, I can say. Okay. But Siva, if these two are like, if these two people are competitors, the coding whatever we learned in Snowflake, is it similar to the same? Is it similar to the Snowflake? Yes, I would say yes. Okay, but the only difference between the Snowflake and the Databricks is in the Databricks you can write the code in multiple languages. Okay, multiple languages in the sense you can write the code in PySpark. You can write the code in PySpark. You can write the code in Scala Spark. Scala is also one of the language, just like your Python. Okay. You can write the like code in SQL if you're good at SQL. You can write the code in R language as well. Okay. But Siva, SQL is there. You can write everything in SQL, right? But you, of course, you can write everything in SQL. But the most preferred language that we generally use in Databricks is PySpark, because we can use more libraries and the Python is very easy language, and we can achieve the dynamism very easily with the PySpark. And PySpark and Spark has very rich APIs where we can go and use the transformation. We can use those APIs in the transformations. And moreover, I can say with the help of the Spark, you can process huge volume of data. That is only the reason. That is only the difference. Of course, with the Snowflake also, we can process huge volume of data. But Snowflake, you know what will happen? Once you get the data into the Snowflake, then we can do code and do the transformations. But the Spark has inbuilt connectors to connect to the external sources actually. So that is one more like difference between your Snowflake and Databricks. Actually, Databricks is a third-party company. It's not an Azure service actually. But people used to say that okay, it's Azure Databricks. It's not an Azure service. It's not an AWS service. It's a third-party company. Databricks is a separate company. Okay, so the founders of the Spark, they initially they handed over the Spark code to the Apache open source company, and after that they came out and they modified the code little bit of the Spark code, and they established a separate company called Databricks, and they tie up with the Azure people. Okay, hey, Azure, I am going to provide the front end interface, how the users are going to write, and I'm going to like give the entire logic. I'm going to take care of the processing. You give me only the compute power and storage. Rest all will take care. That is what the commitment they've. That is what the promise that they have taken from the Azure, I can say. That means Azure is going to provide only compute power and storage, and rest all will be taken care by Databricks only. So this combination has become very popular in the market, very popular, and people started using like anyway. At that time, AWS has its own services actually. And slowly Azure started grabbing the market. And AWS still they're marketing their own tools actually, their own services. So when they started grabbing the market, then AWS has decided, hey, this guy is entering into the market. Now it's time to introduce the Databricks in AWS as well. Then these guys also, these AWS guys has actually approached Databricks guys again. Hey, we are also public cloud, and we are also going to provide the storage and the compute power, and you try to like tie up with us so that we'll go together, we'll grow together, we'll get into the market together, and we'll grow together. That is what they told to the Databricks people. Now that combination also becoming very popular in the market. From last 6 months, people started implementing Databricks in AWS as well. And AWS also, when you open, when you type something in Databricks in Google, they started giving actually AWS training, free training. See, slowly they're injecting the Databricks into people's mind. So that is the background. See, okay, I'll tell you one more thing. Shiva, what is the advantage of learning Spark here? Forget about the Databricks and all. What is the advantage of learning the Spark? I'll tell you hell number of advantages here. Okay, if you learn Spark, okay, Spark can be, it can be PySpark, it can be Scala Spark, it can be anything, I can say. It can be anything, or it can be RSpark as well. You can go as a big data developer in the market. You can go as a Spark developer in the market. You can claim, hey, I'm a Spark developer. Now, slowly, if you want, if companies wanted to call you as a data engineer, you have to have Spark skill set also in your resume. Then only they will call you as a complete data engineer. Because somewhere or the other place, the Spark is being used in all the tools. Okay, I'll tell you one more use case here. If you learn Spark and Python combination, you can become an AWS engineer also within 1 month or 2 months easily. Because in AWS data engineering, mostly they are going to use glue service and Lambda service, Lambda. Okay, and mostly they are going to use step functions, and they are going to use Redshift, and they are going to mostly they are going to use these services. Okay, so in all these services, they're going to use Spark. Forget about whether we are going to use Python or Scala. They're going to use Spark. Then you can become AWS engineer easily. Okay, if you learn Spark, even in Azure also, I told you already, in ADF completely the backend, they're going to use Spark only. I told you the error messages also. When something got failed in ADF, backend it is going to give Spark error message. And data flows are completely like Spark background. They're built on top of Spark actually. Okay, that is also one more advantage. And even in the Azure, some of the services are there. Equivalent to step function, we have Azure functions are there. There also we are going to use Spark only. If you learn Spark, many advantages are there. Many advantages. Okay, that is okay. That is okay, Seva. Now we understood that the Spark is very important in the data engineering field. That we agree. Okay, Spark can be implemented using Python, using Scala. Now, which one we have to learn? Which one is the good one in the market? Okay, Till 2018, 2019, I learned Scala like Spark in 2018. I entered into the market in 2018 with Spark. Yeah. So at that time, Scala combination with Spark was very famous. Almost all the companies, they were using Scala Spark only. Okay. At that time, actually, the data science was also very famous. Like slowly it is growing in the market in 2018, 2017 time. Okay. And we are the data givers to the data science people. We are going to provide the data to them. Since those guys are using actually Python extensively in data science applications, and even data engineers also started using Python like anyway in the market. They started habituated to the Python language. They started implementing their data processing using Python. So because of this reason, people started using Python combination with Spark. Then PySpark has become very popular in the market than Scala Spark. But anyway, APS will not change, guys. Even if it is a Scala, even if it is a PySpark, APS will not change. APS are same. You'll understand what exactly those APS, the meaning is. Okay, so for that reason, we picked up actually PySpark as a language. Python as a language here. See, Spark is just a engine, execution engine. That's it. You can interact with that engine using Python language or using Scala language. Of course, Spark is built on top of Scala language. That is the reason why at that time Scala Spark was very famous. But now you can interact that Spark engine using Python as well, just like your Scala. There is no performance difference. There is no like APS difference. Everything is same as it is. And that too, one more difference why PySpark has become very popular in the market is Scala does not have like very big community. Scala does not have communities. Python has like a very big community in the market. It has very big like library, rich libraries, I can say, rich community, I can say. Lots of packages are there in the Python to interact, to process your data. So that is the reason why PySpark has become very popular. So my recommendation is also go with PySpark only. Don't learn the Scala separately now. If somebody asks you, see, I'll show you the differences also like between PySpark and Scala Spark. You will not feel like both are different. At some point of time, you'll feel that both are same. Okay. So, Shiva, what is the prerequisite to complete all these things? As I told you already, since this is a data engineering related like language, I told you, you have to like master in SQL. Even though we are going to write the like coding in PySpark in Python, ultimately you have to query the data in SQL only. You're going to process the data with PySpark, that's it. But you have to query the data using SQL only. If you know SQL, PySpark is cakewalk, I can say. Really cakewalk. Whatever the like concepts are there in the SQL, the same as it is concepts are there in the PySpark. But Shiva, it is a programming language. This is SQL is completely different. How come you're saying that both are same? Yes, boss. Ultimately, why do we use PySpark? To process our data, right? Data processing means ultimately we have to deal with SQL only, right? See, indirectly, you're writing code in PySpark means programmatically you're implementing that SQL here. That's it. Programmatically, you're processing the data. That's it. That is only the difference. In normal Snowflake and all, you'll write directly SQL, but indirectly you write SQL here. That's it. That is only the difference. Okay. Hope you guys got it like why we have to learn PySpark, why we have to learn Databricks. See, what are all the features are there in the Snowflake? Almost all those features are there in the Databricks as well. Almost. Time traveling is there in Snowflake. Even Databricks also has same thing. You can share the data in the Snowflake. Even in Databricks also you can share the data. You can create the cloning in Snowflake. Same as it is you can do in Databricks as well. And one more advantage I'll tell you, learning of this PySpark. I told you already in many of you guys heard about the Snowpark, right? Snowpark. I think many of you heard about that one. What is Snowpark actually? It's a combination of Snowflake and Spark. There also, you're going to write the code in PySpark only. If you learn this PySpark, you'll become a master in Snowpark. They also, Snowflake also introduced Databricks kind of concepts there. Recently, they introduced how we are going to write the notebooks code in the PySpark, right? In the same way in Snowflake also, you can write the code as it is. They recently launched it actually. I don't know whether it is available in the free version or not, but in the paid versions, it is available. You can launch the notebooks and you can start writing the notebook. You can start writing the code there itself in the UI itself. Okay, so you can become a master easily in Snowpark. Now people started asking Snowpark as well in the interviews. And I told you, I have been telling you from last 1 year. I don't know how many of you are going to follow. Python is extensively being used in data engineering, guys. Without Python, you go and search in Naukri, you go and search in LinkedIn, you go and search in any of the job like websites, job provider websites. In every job, they are going to mention, definitely they would have mentioned Python as one of the skill in data engineering. Everywhere. And do not feel that Python is a separate programming language and we are not from the programming background and we cannot able to learn this one. No, even I am not from programming background, but I can able to write the code. The only thing is that is your perception. That's it. That is your mindset. That's it. Change your mindset.
ఫైనల్లీ ఇప్పుడు రేపు మీటింగ్ ఉందని పెట్టారు ఏంటి ఎవరి మంది అది
Okay. Change your mindset. Okay. And learn basics in Python. You don't need to become a master in Python, guys. Just learn the basics. That is more than enough, actually. More than enough. Even I'm not a master, but I can able to write the code. We built a very big framework which is being used by multiple teams in our company. So, if you have that kind of mindset, please take out that and start thinking thinking like Python is very easy language, just like your English language, and you just need to learn some rules in the language. That's it. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to give these basics and all. What are all the things are required for the real-time implementation? All those basics I'm going to give you in this 10 days, this week and next week. Okay. Any questions so far? Before I get into Python? Okay. Let's get started, guys. Okay. So, as I mentioned, this whole week I'm going to discuss the Python, the basics only. You please try to focus on the concepts which I'm going to tell you. Okay. What I can say is, whatever the points I'm going to discuss in the classroom, I can say those are bullets. Every single concept, every single point that I'm telling, that I'm teaching, you're going to use in real time. Definitely, I'm telling. Okay, so please practice every day, and please follow my classes. It's my responsibility to make you masters in Spark. It's my responsibility. Okay, yeah. Okay, first topic that I'm going to discuss is variables. Not only in Python, guys. You take any language, the first concept everybody will teach is variables concept. Okay, you take C language, C++, Java, like .NET, you take any language, Python, Scala, everywhere the variables concept is used. You guys know this one, but still I'm trying to discuss this one because it's very easy topic. Okay, I have to inject that in your mind. Python is very easy. I have to inject that point. For that, I'm starting with this topic. Okay. Okay. So what is variable actually in a language? Not only in Python, in any language, variable is just it is just a pointer where we are going to store some value, I can say, or it's a I can say it's a in Python we call it as an object actually. In other languages we call it as a pointer, I can say. Okay. So let's say if I say age equal to 25, back and what will happen, this 25 will be stored in a memory location. Okay. So that memory location will be referenced by the name called age. This one we call it as a variable, and the variable value is 25. That is what I was mentioning here. Age is a variable, and it is holding actually the value 25. Okay, backend it is going to assign some memory to this value, and it is going to store it. That's it. Okay, not only this one, guys. You can use any naming convention for this variable creation. Okay, let's say name equal to Siva, is active equal to true, like that. You can create any like number of variables in Python. You would write it anyway. Backend it is going to assign some memory. It will simply store that value there, and it will be referenced by that particular variable name. See, you once you store that value, you have to reference that one. You have to whenever it is required, you have to call that variable, right? That how do you call that one? By using that variable name. That's it. Okay. Sima, what kind of data type we can store in a variable? What are all the rules are there to create the variable here? That's what we need to understand. Okay. So what will happen here is, let me erase this one. What will happen here when I say a equal to 100? A is just a variable here. A is just a variable here. Okay. And it is currently holding the value 100 here. It's a memory location, I can say. Okay. So what kind of values it is going to store? Currently, you have given 100, right? I know that 100 is an integer. Okay. You can store a equal to Siva also. No problem with that. No problem with that. And you can store a equal to 1.29. You can store that one also. Siva is an integer. 1.29 is a float value, right? Or a decimal value, right? This is integer, right? But Siva, while declaring the variable here, you did not mention any of the data type here. How come it is going to decide in the back end it is an integer or float value, or it is a list, or it is a tuple, or it is a like dictionary? How it is going to like recognize that one? How does it understand that? Yes, remember one thing. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. Remember this one. If somebody asks you, hey, is it a static typed programming language or a dynamically typed programming language? Java is a static type programming language. That means in Java, you have to define the data type of the variable as well. In Java, um, I'm not sure, but generally they'll define age equal to, okay, int of 25. They'll try to declare that like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Long back I studied this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Int 25 they'll try to store. If it is a float value, float 1.29, like that they'll try to store. So that means they declare the data type of the value that you're assigning. But in Python, that is not required because it's a dynamically typed programming language. What does it mean, Shiva? On the fly, Python interpreter is going to assign, it understands actually, and it assign the data type automatically. Getting my point? Okay. So, yeah, 1 second. That is what I mentioned here. That is what I mentioned. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. Okay, but Shiva, how do we know that one? Okay, Shiva, you're telling this one, right? Can you execute and show it to us so that we'll understand? We don't believe on you. You're a liar. Okay, let me execute that one. Okay, so in this entire course, guys, you try to execute your Python commands or Spark commands in a Jupyter notebook only. I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking you to insisting you guys to use the a Jupyter notebook here. Okay, because I'll tell you how to install this one. I'll share the software with you guys, and you try to install the software that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, let me type here Jupyter Notebook. So this is Anaconda command prompt actually. You guys have to install Anaconda in the backend. This is also one of the IDE for Python execution. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. Many IDEs are available in the market actually to execute your Python code. Okay, this one Anaconda is there, and your PyCharm is there. Like many other tools are there, but the preferable one for this course especially is Anaconda. Okay, I'll tell you the reason also. Okay, so you just need to type here Jupyter Notebook. That's it. Notebook. Just type it. This is a command. Just type it. It is going to open Notebook for you. Okay. So what is that we need to do from here? You just try to open a Python file here. Just click on new and just type there Python. You select the Python file. Okay, and start executing your commands here. Okay, Siva, what is the reason for executing the commands only in this particular tool? Any specific reason? Yes. Okay. I'm just typing the file name as variables here. You can use any naming convention here. Okay. What is the reason? Because even Databricks also follows the same UI. Once you habituated to this UI, it is very easy for you guys to manage the code in the Databricks. It's very easy. Pretty much you'll find the same options in the Databricks as well. Pretty much same. Not all the options, almost all the options you'll find as same. That is the reason why I'm insisting you guys to use this particular UI. Of course, you guys can go ahead and use the this terminal as well. Of course, you can use that one, but preferable one is this one. Okay. So let me start executing my commands here. Okay. Let's say, so I was telling you I was telling you variables concept, right? So my variable name called A, I'm trying to assign the value 100 to that A. Okay. Then what will happen here? Okay. And after that, what I wanted to do is I wanted to execute actually. I wanted to type actually. I wanted to give here print command here. I'm going to discuss about the print command as well. Don't worry. In how many ways we can write the print here? Sorry, print A, right? Yeah. So variables always you need to mention without single quote, double quotes, or triple single quotes, or triple double quotes. Just plain variable name you have to mention here. Okay. So what will happen here if I try to execute? If you want to execute this one, just click on run here. Okay, print, right? I'm just trying to typo here. Sorry. I'm just typing here print of A. Then output I got is 100. Okay. Shiva, I know that you're printing the value of A, but I wanted to know the data type of that 100. If you want to know that one, you simply have to write here print of to know that actually we have a special command called type. So in the type, actually, the variable name you have to mention here. What is the type of variable that backend it has stored? What is the type of A? Is it an integer? Is it a string? Is it a float? Is it a list? Is it a dictionary? What kind of data type it is? That's what it is going to give us. Okay, now see, class integer. And one more thing I wanted to tell you here, in Python actually, in Python, everything is an object. Everything is an object. Object means it's a memory location. That's it. Backend, it will go and store it in a memory location. That's it. Siva, how do you say that it is actually storing it in a memory location? Can you go and show us in the memory location where it is stored? Where it is stored, can you show us? Yes, boss. I'm going to show that one as well. Okay. But I cannot open my hard disk and show you that one here. I can show you here with the address. Okay. With ID of A, I can give here. ID is a function actually. ID is a function actually, which is going to tell you where exactly this variable value is stored. Okay. If I try to execute this one, this is the memory location. Back and actually the 100 is stored. When you say print of A, backend it will directly go to that memory location and it will fetch this value and it will try to print to us. It will try to give the output to us. That's it. That's it. Okay. Okay. So we have a question here. We have a question here. Let's say to the same variable, I'll try to assign 50. Okay. What I'm trying to do here is to the same variable, I'm trying to assign 50. Okay. Previously it was 100, right? Now I'm trying to assign it to 50. What will happen to this 100 now? Now backend you told like it has created the object, right? Now how it is going to be how it is going to override this 50 value 50 here? That's what we need to understand, right? You know, the moment you assign 50 here, backend what will happen? You know, the object whatever it is created by the Python, it will be discarded. The memory location will be discarded. And now previously my A was pointing actually this memory location. From now onwards, my A will be pointing to value 50. Now given this one, right? Now what I will do, I'll simply go ahead and execute this run button here. Sorry, let me just a second. This. Now simply go ahead and execute this one. See, is it giving the same address whatever it has displayed? It might not be same. It will go and store this 50 in some other location. Every time the memory location might not be same. So you can override the value to a variable at any point of time. You're allowed for that. Okay. Backend, it will keep on discarding and creating, discarding and creating, discarding and creating. That operations will happen. Okay. Now, Shiva, can you tell me, can I go ahead and create my variable like this? 1a equal to 50. Is it possible? Is it possible to create like this? Okay. So if I try to print it like 1a, sorry, 1a like this, 1a here, control V, 1 second, 1a here. What will happen here? If I try to execute this one, it is saying that, hey, this is wrong. Syntax error. That means something it is not allowed here. What is that? What is that? There are some rules to define the variables, guys, in Python. You have to strictly follow those rules to define this. That rule is variable should not start with a number. That is rule number 1. Okay, should not start. Variable can contain. I can define the variable like this. A1 I can define here. Here also I can give here A1. A1 equal to, here also I'll just simply remove 1a here. Sorry, A1. Here also I'll try to remove A1 here. A1. Now if I try to go ahead and print this one, see, I'm able to print it. I'm able to print it. So your variable can contain numbers, but it should not start with a number. That is rule number 1. Okay. Okay. So what are all the rules are there? Can you show us? Yes. That the variable must start from with a letter or underscore. Mostly we are not going to create any variables with underscores. I mean, starting with underscore, I can say. You can go ahead and create that one, but I don't recommend that. I don't recommend. You can go ahead and do that one. They're allowed. They'll allow you, but it's not recommended. Start any variable with alphabet, and after that you can have anything. Number, underscore, like only underscores are allowed, of course. So in a nutshell, what I would say is your variable can contain alphanumeric characters along with underscore. That's it. Variable is a alphanumeric value. Sorry, I did something here. Oh, sorry. It's an alphanumeric value where underscore is allowed. Sometimes we write multiple words in a variable. Let's say target table. If I write target table as a continuous word, people will not understand it. What I can write is target underscore table equal to employee table. I can write like that. Okay, so that is what I've given example. My variable equal to 10 underscore my variable equal to 10 also we can write. Or your variable can contain the numbers as well. I told you. Okay, underscores also allowed, numbers also allowed here. You can write the variable like this also. Okay, and one more thing you need to understand is variables are case sensitive. Case sensitive means if I try to store the data like this, then what will happen in the backend? You try to understand that. Okay, sorry, I have to remove this spaces. Python follows the indentation, guys. I'll tell you what is that indentation whenever like we get that issue. I'll explain that a little bit later. Okay. Now, from now onwards, you try to write always print command like this. F double quotes. Within that, you have to write whatever you want. Within double quotes, whatever you want, you can write it. Okay. Since this is a variable, I can write like this here. Variables always try to indicate in a flower brackets. Always try to indicate in a flower brackets. Okay. And one more value, one more like I'm trying to print command I'm trying to write here. Print of, okay. You guys, many of you guys know what is that F. Generally, we call it as the F string. I'll tell you that approach as well. Different variations in the print command. Okay. Now here, whatever the variable I have here, I can go ahead and write that one here. And if I try to execute that one, see, I'm able to print it. My where V is capital here, uppercase, V is lowercase here. Both are different. If they are same, if Python is not a case sensitive language, if the variables does not follow that case sensitivity, then both variables could have stored same value. Agree? But both are displaying different values here. So from this, I can conclude that Python is a case sensitive language and variables follows the sensitivity. Okay. So that is also one more rule. Okay. That's what I mentioned in my PPT. Variables are case sensitive. And next, you're not supposed to use any keyword. Any keyword. Okay. So Python has some reserved words, right? Or keywords, right? What happened here? 1 second. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So Python has some keywords, right? So let's say for, if, else, while, def, like that, many keywords are there. Okay, you're not supposed to use those keywords as variables. For example, let's say, I'll try to use here while equal to 40. While is a keyword actually. You're not supposed to use as a variable. If I try to execute this command, it is saying that invalid syntax. Was while is a keyword. It is reserved. You're not supposed to use that word anywhere. That's a reserved word. So you're not supposed to use the reserved words as reserved keywords also as a variable. This is also one more rule. Okay. Yeah. And one more thing you need to understand is, so far I've assigned the values right to a variable. So you can assign the values like this also. Let me try to assign the values, the string values also. Okay. Let me execute this. See, nothing we got here. So every time you need to write here like this one, value. Okay, now see how I'm writing here. The value of x comma y comma z. The value of right, y of, okay, value of x y z. Values of x y z are, see, I wanted to mention the variables here, x, y, and z. How do I mention here? So do I need to concatenate? How we concatenate in Java? In the same way, do we need to concatenate to this one here? Do I need to write the concatenation? No, you don't need to write anything here. Okay, you simply mention here, okay, x as it is here, okay, comma, within flower brackets again, you try to mention y, and within again put comma again here. Okay. within flower brackets, you simply write here Z. See, the advantage of writing the print command within the F string is you can mention the variables easily. If you don't mention this F string, what will happen? You have to write values of XYZ are within double quotes here. And again, you have to write flower brackets XYZ and dot format of XYZ. Dot format of XYZ. All those bullshit you need to write here. My recommendation is always try to use your print command within F string. It's my sincere recommendation. Please try to follow that one. You don't need to follow any concatenation. You don't need to feel hard here. It's very easy. Print is very easy. Some people, they struggle a lot to do these things. For that only, from Python 3.6 onwards, they introduced this F string actually. They made our life easy. Okay, so for that, I'm recommending the print command like this. Now, if I start executing this one, see how I'm getting here. Okay, so hey, hello, we got. Oh, okay. See, 5, hello, 3.14. All three values I got. Okay, so what I wanted to show here is ultimately the concept. You can store the numbers, you can store the string, you can store the float values, you can store the list, you can store the tuple and all those things. I'll tell you what is list, what is tuple, what is dictionary. Tomorrow we are going to discuss that. All these things we can store in a variable. It will assign that data type automatically in the backend. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, if you want to write that one, you can write it happily here. So print of Shiva, we don't believe you. Can you show us how it is going to store the data in the backend? Okay. Now within F string, the data, sorry, data type of data types of, sorry guys, 1 second. Data types of X comma, okay, Y comma Z are. Okay. Now how do you know the data type of that? How do you know the data type of that?
Type.
Type, okay. Now type of type of my bad, 1 second, guys. So type of X here, okay. Put comma here, So type of, you can write directly Y here and put comma here, okay. So type of Z also we can write here, okay. Now go and execute here. See here what happened here. What happened? As it is, you got it, type of X, type of Y, type of Z. Why it is printing as it is here? Why it is not giving class of string, class of integer, class of float? Why it is not printing that? How does it understand that it's a variable? How does it understand that? In order to understand all these things, I'm going to discuss about the print variations, print command variations. That is what my next topic is. Okay. Let's get into that one now. So almost we are, yeah. And one more thing, guys, I'm sorry. Before I get into that print command, you can assign, if you want to assign different values in a single shot, right? In a single command, right? You can assign like this. A, B, C equal to A, comma, B, comma, C equal to 1, comma, 2, comma, 3. That means 1 will be assigned to A and 2 will be assigned to B and 3 will be assigned to C. So whatever the order you're mentioning, in the same order, it will try to assign the values. Do not show your intelligence here and say that, okay, A can hold the value 2, C can hold the value of 1, value 1. So, okay, will it happen? No. Whatever the order you're mentioning, in the same way it is going to store. That's it. Okay. And if you want to assign same value to multiple variables in a single shot, then you can do like this. See, in real time, we are going to use all these things, guys, actually. All these notations, actually. Okay. So that is also I wanted to discuss here. And I told you already ID function also here. If you want to know the address of particular variable, you can use the ID function here. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So that is about variables. Any question before I get into the print command? No questions? Okay. Let me close this one. Let me start the print command here. Guys, you can write the print command in Python in many different ways. I'll show you the basic, the basic syntax of the print command. Print. At high level, I'll explain, don't worry. But the one I'm going to use, ultimately, we are going to use F string only. I'm just for knowledge purpose, I'm going to discuss here. Okay. So the print syntax is like this. Print value, any value you can write here within print, within double quotes or within single quotes. Okay. And it takes the separator also as an input. Separator means, you know what will happen here when you try to write here. Let's say I'm trying to write a command like this: print off within double quotes. I'm just trying to write here, hello world. Okay, this is what I'm writing here. If I try to execute this one, hello world, automatically we are getting in a second line, right? Sorry. Like let's say these two actually I wanted to like print side by side with hyphen separator. Then this separator will help us actually. Between print commands, what is this separator? What is the separator? Currently empty string, nothing is there. Nothing is there. Okay, so that is the reason we did not get anything. If you want to do more research on that one, you go ahead and do that one. I'll give you the syntax and I'll give you this PPT with you. I'll share the PPT with you. You do that research if you want. Okay, and next parameter it is going to take, it is end. As I mentioned here, by default, next print command is printing in a next line. You know why it is printing in a next line? Only because of this particular end parameter. In the end, actually, it is by default, it is taking /n. /n, you guys know, it's a new line character. It's a new line character. It is printing the next print command output in a next line. Next line. That is the reason why you're getting it here. If you want to print that one in a with comma separation here, you can print that one using separator and the end command combination here. Sorry, my bad. One second. Separator and the like the end parameter combination. If you want, you can write it. And okay, that is fine, Shiva. By default, where it is printing the output, I can execute all these commands in a console as well. Indirectly, it is printing this output to the console, Python console, I can say. Okay, by default, it writes the data, it displays it actually writes the data to the console. Shiva, I don't want to write the data to the console. I wanted to write this print command output to a specific file. Can we do that? Yes, obviously you can do that. That you can mention here. By default, it's a sys.standard std out. Std out is nothing but by default, it writes the data to the command line or standard output, I can say, or console, I can say, Python console. 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 Pyth Okay, let me open that one here. Okay, so you can open Jupyter Anaconda prompt here. Okay, you just type here Python. That's it. This is also a Python command prompt here. If I write here print command, print off. Okay, so within double quotes I can write it here. Hello Shiva. Okay, that's what I'm writing here. See what happened? Hello Shiva is printed here. By default, where it is writing here? To the console. To the command line. So that is what they're trying to say here. Okay. And flush equal to false. What does it mean is the moment you, okay, let's say if you try to write here one print command, and after that, after certain lines, if once you write the one more print command, it is first it will try to, okay, let's say I'll try to write like this. Okay. And a equal to, let's say 10 I'm writing here, or 20 I'm writing here. Now, if I try to execute here, the moment you execute this one also getting executed, and it is printing the output to the console. And this one, after that, this one also getting executed, and it is storing the value in the backend. It is creating the object in the backend, and this one also getting executed, and it is writing the data to the console again. That means it is not storing the print output in a buffer, and it is not holding that values. If you want to hold the values, and if you want to flush all the print outputs in a single shot, you can do that one. How you can do that one? Using this particular syntax. Flush equal to true, you can make it. And whenever you say like flush the output, then what will happen? It will try to flush the output to the console. Flushing means simply throw everything on the onto the console in a single shot. So back end, it will try to store all the print command output in a buffer, and in a single shot, it will try to print that buffer output. That's it. But anyway, we are not going to use all these things here in our data engineering. Don't worry about all those things. I'm not going to discuss also all those things. Just for knowledge purpose, I'm trying to discuss all these things here. That's it. Don't worry about it. Core programmers have to understand all these things. We don't need to understand. Okay. Now, I told you already, within print command, you can write anything, guys. Anything. Within double quotes, you can mention that. Hello world. Output, you'll get hello world. That's it. Okay. You can write here. Okay. You can write everything in a single double quotes. I mean, at the starting one double quote, and at the end, you're mentioning one more double quote, right? You're writing one more double quote, right? You can write everything. You can wrap everything in a double quotes here. That is also one variation. Or you can write multiple. This is a single word, I can say. This generally within double quotes or single quotes, we mention that. Single quotes are also allowed, double quotes are also allowed, guys. Anything is okay here. Back end, indirectly, single quotes and double quotes both are same. Python treats them both are same. And when I say, even when you try to write everything in within double quotes here, the output, how you are going to get, let's say I'll try to execute my command in the command prompt here. Okay, if I try to execute, okay, let me try to paste here. What happened? Okay, if I try to write like this, okay, so print off within double quotes. Okay, let me show you in another way. Okay, let's say A equal to within double quotes. I'm just trying to write here. Hello, Siva. This is what I'm trying to store. Back and how it is going to store. Okay, simply I'll say A. See what is happening here. Hello, Siva. I'm getting in a single quote, right? Why? I've given this hello, Siva in double quotes here. That means I'm telling to my Python. Are you guys able to see this font size? Or you want me to increase it? Is it okay now? Yes. Are you guys able to
Yes,
follow me?
yes, Shiva.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, when I try to represent string in double quotes here, back end indirectly it is storing in a single quotes only. You know why? What is the reason? Python is very intelligent. It always follow the memory management. Double quotes will take more space. That is the reason why it is storing in a single quotes. Getting it? So double quotes or single quotes, both are same in Python perspective. Both are same. They are not different. Okay. So you can mention like this here within print command. So sorry, where is that? You can mention like this within double quotes or within single quotes. Or if you want to mention the values separately, hello separately, you can mention world also separate. You can mention 1, 2, 3. You can mention after that. You can write Mahabharata story also. It will print it. Nothing will happen. It will print everything here. This is also one more variation. And I told you, right, separator here. If you mention by default empty space, it will take here. That means if you don't mention anything here in the previous slide here, automatically you got here space as a separator right here. Space as a separator, right? Empty string as a separator right here. I think it's a space. Yeah, space, I think. Yeah. Space as a separator, right? Between the words to word here. But if you don't want to mention that separator here, if you want to mention override that space with a hyphen symbol here, you will get output like this. Anyway, we don't use this one, guys. Just try to understand. That's it. And I was mentioning anyway, end equal to by default it will take actually slash and right. Hello print of all has to be printed in 2 separate lines, but output you're going to get like this, because end I'm trying to mention space. I'm trying to override the slash and with the space. With this end and separator, generally in interviews they'll ask you to generate the patterns. For a core program, it's not to us actually. Okay, so because of this end, it is trying to print like this. And next one, if you want to write something to the file, right? I told you already, right? So we have to open the file here, .txt file or .log file, whatever you want, you can write it. Okay, as file, print of hello file to the file. You can write this one. I'm not going to execute all these things. Just for knowledge, I'm trying to execute all these things, show you all these things. Okay. And this is old notation actually. Generally in C language, we used to write like this, right? Okay. Now you don't need to write all these things actually. Okay. Percentile S, percentile D, percentile other thing, F, all those things you don't need to write. Forget about all those old notation. You simply write everything. If you want, you can write like this. This is also sometimes allowed, guys. Okay. Let's say I have 2 variables, name and age here. And if you want to print them here, name equal to like curly brackets and age equal to curly bracket. These curly brackets, we generally call it as a placeholders. Placeholders. So these placeholders will take the name and age. First placeholder will take the name. Second placeholder will take the age. If you want, I can print this one here. Let me try to print this. Okay, let me go here and let me try to open a new cell here. In order to create a new cell, you need to click on plus symbol here. Okay, click on so paste this one and try to execute this one and see something you're getting error here. What is that error? Name is not defined. Okay, I'll try to define that variable here. So name equal to, so within single quotes, I'll try to mention, or within double quotes also you can write here. Okay, age also I've written here. Okay, age equal to, I'll say 20 here. Okay, let's see. Siva and age 20 we are getting here. Okay. See, first one is a placeholder for the name, second one is a placeholder for the age. Sometimes in real time, we write the print command like this also. I'll show you the use case also when I'm trying to discuss about the, not print command actually, like some other use case is there, I'll tell you, but you guys have to understand this notation as well. This one and the next I'm going to discuss, both are important. This is formatting approach actually. Okay. And the last approach that that I'm going to use is, you guys already know, I've already discussed this one. F string we have to use. I told you this is supported after Python 3.6. Okay. So name and age you can write within curly brackets here. Okay. Any variable name you can write it guys here. No problem. And the next variation is, if you want, you can write some special characters also within print command so that it will try to print accordingly. Slash n is nothing but a new line character. That is the reason why hello and world we got in a separate lines here. And tab space slash t I've given here. You guys know the backslash characters, right? Slash n slash t and it's like few characters are there, right? So that is what I'm trying to use here. Okay, so tab space, I got tab space here between tab and space here. This is also one more variation in the print command. You can write it. Okay, and I told you right here, if you don't write anything in the end, okay, if you mention something in the end, it will try to print it accordingly. Okay, this is also one more variation. Mostly we are going to use either this approach or this approach. That's it. Only these two are allowed. My recommendation, I can say. And out of these two, 99% of the cases, we go with this one only. Only 1 or 2% of the cases, we go with this one. That's it. I don't know how core programmers are going to use, whether this one or this one, but we are using in real time this approach only, mostly. Okay, so that is print command, guys. So we are going to use tomorrow onwards like variables and the print commands extensively. That's all for today. And now, what I'm expecting from you guys, I have written here print command type of X, type of Y, type of Z, right? And you tell me tomorrow in tomorrow's class how we are going to print that actually. Now we got automatically print of X, print of Y, print of Z, right? And I'm not expecting that one actually. I'm expecting string, class integer, class string, class float, like that. I'm expecting that. So how we can print that? Just try to tell me that. Okay, yeah, that's all.